This video is designed to explain the features, advantages and benefits of Polypanel, a relatively new product to Australia, imported by Polyaire, Australia's biggest manufacturer and supplier of air conditioning component and fittings. Polypanel type products are widely accepted and currently in use in major domestic and commercial projects throughout the world. In the United Arab Emirates, the location of the highest rate of building development per capita, pre-insulated aluminium board has taken over in excess of 70% of the market share in the last 4 years. So let's examine it in detail. Polypanel is closed-cell polyisocyanurate foam enclosed in 2 layers of textured aluminium sheet. The embossed aluminium sheet creates a sturdy exterior which protects from impact, and a clear lacquer coating increases corrosion resistance. The PIR foam is light and a good insulator. The interior of the aluminium sheet is also coated with translucent lacquer, providing low vapour permeability and preventing air pollution within the duct. Construction of duct from Polypanel eliminates any thermal bridges, provides continuous insulation to all parts of the installation, greatly reduces the risk of condensation, is easy to clean and more hygienic, and all joints are sealed against air loss via glue, silicone and/or tapes. While the board is rigid and strong enough to support itself over reasonable lengths, it is easy to cut and mould. Polypanel conforms with current Australian standards and is accredited as 5-star green, which makes it particularly interesting to Australian commercial specifiers. The best way to understand Polypanel's benefits to the industry is to compare it to the sheet metal that it directly competes against. Now, Polypanel is not a substitute for sheet metal in every instance, but in the applications where it can be substituted, its benefits become obvious very quickly. Insulation. Unlike sheet metal duct, Polypanel does not require the addition of insulation blanket and has better insulation consistency and vapour barrier. Weight. Polypanel is less than 25% of the weight of sheet metal duct. Noise transmission. The smooth, hard surface of sheet metal promotes sound propagation, where the textured Polypanel will help baffling in the duct. Moisture corrosion resistance. Steel duct is liable to corrosion from airborne moisture, particularly in coastal areas. Polypanel's lacquered aluminium outer sheet is relatively impervious to moisture-based corrosion. Chemical resistance. Polypanel's lacquer-coated aluminium exterior is more resistant to chemical corrosion than sheet metal. Ease of installation. Fast fabrication and installation of Polypanel and less need for heavy lifting equipment reduces installation time. In many cases, unskilled labour can be used. Maintenance. The insulation blanket has to be removed from sheet metal duct to carry out any maintenance. Polypanel has no jacket and is easy to work on and repair. Overall durability. Sheet metal has an accepted life of about 10 years. Polypanel is semi-permanent. Cost. Taking into account the cost of materials and installation, Polypanel will usually be much cheaper than traditional sheet metal plus insulation. Air conditioning ductwork constructed from Polypanel becomes a viable alternative to mild steel duct from the moment of manufacture. Simple tools, some space and the ability to cut straight are really all that is needed to make quite complex shapes. The basic tools are a cutting table, straight edge, 3 special knives, 45 degree, straight cut, and the double 45 degree or mitre for cutting 90-degree folds. Straight duct pieces can be cut quickly and easily. The mitre joint is part of the primary cut using the custom cutters. Then it folds by hand, no need for heavy machinery. All joints are glued and taped for strength and a high quality finish. Bending is a little more complex, but still easy to achieve. A curve is easily formed by creasing the metal. Items that require multiple assembly, like starter sets or cushion head boxes, can be cut quickly and easily with a template. Polypanel is easy to join to metal outlets and collars for attachment of flexible duct. Again, the joints are neat, tight and leak-free. Starter sets, cushion head boxes, special purpose designs and flexible duct connectors are all easy with Polypanel.